And we're back once again here on the Scout's Eye with my guy, Voch Lombardi, my favorite scout, covering this Dallas Cowboy football team. Voch, interesting matchup this week with the Green Bay Packers. You're really banged up along the offensive line. You know, you're banged up at receiver. But is there anything you kind of picked up from getting an early look of this Green Bay team?
100%, Mr. Wolf. This will be the one team that everybody has the bad nerves about. You know,
sure.
The Eagles are winning, they haven't lost, but you at least feel confident about the Eagles.
Right.
You know, Green Bay, now we got history involved, superstitions involved now when it comes to Green Bay. But I do think that there are a handful of ways you could deal with it.
Okay.
And we have to make adjustments every week, Brian. You know, we'll come in here and say, hey, this is how you sack this person, this is how you sack this person. But what me and you have to do is we have to make adjustments per how the Cowboys are playing, right? So we're going to do that a little bit today, Brian.
All right.
Let's run it down a little bit. We got Jordan Love here. If you're going to stop Green Bay, you have to stop their offense.
Right.
And you have to stop their offense, play call or whatever. You got to deal with Jordan Love. One thing I was a little shocked about Jordan Love, just looking at the numbers, he had one game over 200 yards. I thought Jordan Love was out here tearing it up, throwing all over the place.
Sure.
180 here, 180 there. He had a really good game versus the Washington Football Wizards. But these teams gave him fits by just muddying up coverage, Brian.
Right.
I never thought that Jordan Love would be a guy that gets himself pressured and sacked because he just didn't see the coverage. But a lot of the times Jordan Love did get hit, it was because he looked up, he didn't like what he was seeing, and he held the ball a little bit. And look, shouts out to him. I think it's different than Jalen Hurts, right?
Okay, that's the question I was going to ask you, though, because we talk about how much zone coverage you play against Jalen Hurts to make him have to read the field.
Sure. Jalen Hurts immediately surrenders and runs around. Right?
Sure.
If you take a look at Jordan Love's eyes right here, you actually see him still trying to look around and make the read and figure it out. But if it's locked up just a little bit, he'll let you sack him. So Bryan Broaddus, if it's Flus, I know you like to throw out these weird looks, these funny looking looks. Flus, now's the time. Now is the time.
Yeah.
But something else I noticed, Brian, is when we got to when we got to Cleveland.
Right. Cleveland will beat you up.
That ain't us, Brian.
Yeah.
They got Myles Garrett. We don't have him no more.
Yeah.
But I can confidently say, we have Oso Digizua and we got Kenny Clark.
Okay.
So now that look makes a little more sense. I could have come on here and said, hey, the Browns ends, look what they did to the Packers tackle.
Sure.
I don't want to be a part of that conversation, Brian. But I do have a little bit of faith in Oso, and I got a ton of faith in Kenny Clark. I do think interior just being good matters, but the gap exchanges, Brian. If you take a look at it up here, and look, man, how about your rookie Mason Graham up there making waves? He's a quick, sideways, bursty guy.
Right.
I think you have that same kind of guy in Osa. Right? So now you're pairing your powerful D tackle with your bursty quick D tackle, right? Let's get a little bit of gap exchange, see what's going on here. Now, something that was interesting to me, Elgton Jenkins is a name that I recognize. Mississippi State been around for a while. I feel like he's an old man now.
Right.
Bryan Broaddus not really once the guy that he once was.
I think he was drafted in the 19 draft, the 2019 draft.
Possibly. I don't know.
No, I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that one.
Elgton Jenkins feels like an old man now.
No, he's 19 draft, yeah.
Cool. He's a center. But if you can find one guy to beat up on, it's this guy Sean Ryan right here, bro.
Right.
Sean Ryan really gives up sacks pressure, so really go after him. But gap exchanges, they aren't really good.
Boy, they got Sean Ryan leaning bad on that one, huh?
That's what he does, Brian. If you take a look at Sean Ryan's feet and you just look at his posture in general, he will stop moving his feet.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if you pair that with the film session that we dropped Tuesday, Brian, let's incorporate gap exchanges, stunts, move some guys around. You're not just gonna one-on-one beat these guys, right? You gotta make it ugly, make it, do something that could just shake this up a little bit, pair some weird coverage, throw in some slants, gap exchanges up front. I think you have an opportunity, okay?
Yeah, I tell you what, I liked what I saw there. I mean, how quick they were able to win. It wasn't like, it was like Ryan and Jenkins both. I mean, they were just off the snap.
Immediately.
They were beaten, yeah.
Brian, we had to talk about him at some point, man. That old Parsons character, man. Brian, that old Now, this is the difference, right, on this play. And look, Parsons only got one sack. There's Cowboy fans that'll tell you that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But pressure is super important.
Pressure is important, yeah.
Pressure is super important, Brian. But that's Penei Sewell over there.
That is one of the better right tackles in the league.
man, Brian, we don't have Panesul.
Yeah.
We don't have Panesul. We got Terrence Steele and Tyler Guy, and I fully expect Micah Parsons to run into both of those guys.
Sure.
At some point, Bryan Broaddus.
Okay, who would you attack, though, if you were the Packers, if you were Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator? Mm-hmm. Do you just give Micah the choice, being he probably knows the two, which one to go after?
I don't think anybody's off limits.
Okay.
I would keep Micah away from Big Tyler.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them, Hoffman, TJ Bass, whoever, Guyton, Terrence Steele, make a pick.
Okay.
Make a pick and let us adjust off of you. But
boy, we sound like a very Giants-like offensive line, right?
Hey, it's looking that way, Bryan Broaddus. But Micah Parsons is going to get pressure.
Yeah.
But this is something else that we should worry about. He's not just going to line up on the edges, Bryan.
They took a page out of your old book, didn't they?
He's going to line up everywhere, and I think you have to be aware of that, and you have to be nervous about it. Now, if it's me, I wouldn't just be going at the left guard because our left guard is different than the Browns' left guard. It's what it is. But any one of these characters, Bryan Broaddus, I think the Green Bay Packers, it would definitely behoove them to put Micah Parsons around all. And look, not just line him up over, let Micah start here and end up over there. Whatever it takes, I think they're going to throw the whole book at you. I think Micah really wants to get a sack in this game. And look, that's another element is the whole revenge game. Coming back to AT&T, I want to get 2-3 sacks on the team that traded me away, bro. Oh, you didn't believe in me? This is what I got for you, Brian. So if it's up to me, man, I'm running the ball right at Parsons.
Sure.
Ball coming out quick, screens, anything that can help you. But holding the ball is not an option this week, Bryan Broaddus.
No, not at all, though. I tell you what, though, it's interesting, though, with the Packers and how that you do. That's where I think that's where Micah Parsons playing A gap. Mm-hmm. I think he's even more devastating inside like that than he is on the edge.
Yeah.
I think because of just what you see right there. You get guys that are kind of, trying to get their blocks, and now they're passing guys and all that. And then you got Micah Parsons on the run.
But also, too, Brian, don't get me mistaken. These guys get busy, too. Rashawn Gary and something.
Gary will get busy. You're right about that.
They get busy, too, so we need to keep eyes out for them. Let's keep on moving, Bryan Broaddus. Now, the Packers are kind of light at wide receiver right now.
Yeah.
Jayden Reed, he's on IR now, and Christian Wilkins is a guy that history says that he can run past the Cowboys when he wants to. He's on PUP right now. So now they're running out wide receivers like Wicks and Dobbs.
But Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden's my guy.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was about to say, what's up with your guy Matthew Golden here?
But they treat him like a rookie. Matthew Golden, the best receiver on the team right now.
I got you, man.
But they would rather throw the ball to Wicks. They would rather throw it to Dobbs. But Bryan Broaddus, we need to be aware of something right here. Let me just run this play. I want you to look at it, and we'll come back and break it down bit by bit here. First of all, run game is going to be an issue. Josh Jacobs can run the football, and he's going to be terrifying. And I think Green Bay knows that. So what they're going to do is they're going to run play action, and they're going to force you to adjust. But take a look at the tight ends there, Brian. Tucker Kraft is really starting to find his footing there, Brian. Tucker Kraft is really going to get busy. And I think Green Bay scored on this multiple times. They'll fake these blocks in here.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
delay a little bit,
play action, and then next thing you know, Tucker Kraft is just going to emerge from the mess. And boy, Brian, this is also a play that the Cowboys got scored on twice in the last playoff game versus Green Bay.
Yeah.
If it worked back then, Brian, you can only imagine that they're going to try to run it back. I need, and this is probably me asking for a lot, I need my safeties and my linebackers.
Yeah.
To be disciplined in this game, bro, because they are going to do everything that they can to muddy these looks.
You have to be worried about because Dallas's inability to really play against Komet and those guys at the 100%. Bears the other day, 100%. Especially down in the red zone.
100%, Mr. Wolf. And I got one last one, Bryan Broaddus. Now, maybe this threat kind of naturally goes away because of where you're bad at elsewhere. Let me just run this play, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. I just want to let Flus know again. Flus ain't watching, but we got another running quarterback again.
Here we go.
Brian, the running quarterback woes are not going to go away.
No, they're not.
They're not going to go away.
They're not going to go away.
Brian, let me ask you a question. Voch says this. Do you think the running quarterback's danger goes away because these teams are going to be so confident throwing the football?
There's no question. There's no question. You don't have to expose your quarterbacks to hit. I think you're going to see things like it where it's maybe one or two plays. I really thought that Caleb Williams was going to run a lot more. Yeah. I think he ran a couple of times. They had some success on one play. But as much as teams are just blocking your front, and throwing the football, that's the bigger way of moving the ball.
Green Bay will run, but they'll make it look interesting. You see, it looks like an empty formation right now. We're going to get motion, but that motion is going to turn right into a read option, which I think is fantastic.
And then you get the chase.
Yep. Backside lead, block it that way. So, Brian, Green Bay is going to do some things. They're going to be creative. They're going to be interesting. But I think for the most part, Brian, just like some of these other teams, they are a power football team masquerading as like a new age passing team, right?
Yeah.
So they are going to throw the football a little bit. But if they can, just pound Josh Jacobs up A gap, B gap all day, I think they'll do that. So the Cowboys, who have been, I guess you would call them a better run defense team, bring some of that to the party this time, because this might be the best run game that you've gone against, not named Saquon Barkley, and this quarterback can definitely throw it a little bit. So keep your eyes open, Cowboys.
Yeah, it's funny. You look at this, though. Kenny Clark being on the field, the Cowboys are a yard better against the run without him being on the field. So on and off's a whole yard difference right there. Cowboys have done a good job of playing some run defense, though it's the pass defense that's been the real issue. Voch, thank you so much for that. Great breakdown on the Scouts Eye. We'll be back next week with some more breakdowns. We'll break this Green Bay game down for you and then look ahead to the next week's opponent. For my guy Voch Lombardi, I'm Bryan Broaddus. Thank you for joining us here on Crown Global Media, and we'll see you next time.